Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to iQuanta. So another session of percentage, and we are going to discuss some more interesting questions from this topic. Yesterday we discussed the basic concepts which is required to solve percentages problem, and we were able to discuss a few problems on it. Today we are going to continue from there. So good evening, Pius, Priyam, Rubal. Hello everyone. So let's continue, and before that, one thing that I would like to tell you that our IMABC batch, IMABC practice batch has started as per yesterday. Okay, one session has been done, and in this batch you are going to get 7500 CAT level questions, of which there will be two different categories. One of them will be static, that you can solve at your own pace. You are going to get 250 exact CAT level RCs, 250 exact CAT level LRDI sets, and 1250 topic wise CAT level quant questions. These questions you can solve at your own pace. Okay, and then comes this dynamic portion of IMABC practice batch, where every day you will be solving 3 RC sets, 3 LRDI sets, and 12 quant questions, and each one of these will have video solutions. Alright, I am good, Ruval. Thank you. How are you? Hello, Tufan. Chalo, so let's start with our first question today. So today I have taken a little bit better question than yesterday, okay, because this is our second class of percentages. So now you should be able to solve question of these levels as well. So try this one. So what's the answer? Option B आ रहा है. Okay, let's check it. A man buys a house for 1 lakh rupees and rents it. He puts 12.5% of each month's rent aside for upkeep and repairs, pays 325 rupees per year as taxes and realizes 5.5% annually on his investment. Find the monthly rent. So what we can do, we can say that let monthly rent is equal to x rupees. So what will be the annual monthly rent? It will be 12x, and out of these total monthly rent, 12.5%, what is 12.5%? is 1 by 8. So out of these 1 by 8th of these he will keep aside for upkeep and repairs, and he will also pay 325 rupees as tax, and then he realizes, means its total profit is 5.5% of 1 lakh rupees, right? So from there we can say 1 minus 1 by 8 is 7 by 8. 7 by 8 into 12x is equal to, this will be 5500 plus 325, so 5825, right? Now we can cancel this out. 4 into 3, 4 into 2, we are getting x is equal to this into 2, so 11650 upon 21, or we can say x is equal to 21 into 5 is 105, 11 is left, so 115, again 5 times, so 10 left, so 100, so 4 times 84, 10, 100, so it will be 16 left, 160, so 7 something, right? 74, which 76 exactly. So our answer is option B, right? So not many were able to get the correct answer for this question. I hope this solution is clear to you. Tufan, Rubal, correct answers, well done. Everyone, if you have any doubts understanding any step of this solution, then let me know, okay? Priyam, I have taken the monthly rent as x. So in 12 months, in 1 year, total rent will be 12x, right? And 12.8% of each month's rent, 12.5% is 1 by 8. So 1 by 8 of each month's rent. So for 12 months, 12x into 1 by 8. This is the amount that he is keeping aside for repairs, okay, and 325 rupees taxes that he will have to pay, and he realizes means the profit is 5.5% of the total investment. So 5.5% of this will be 5500, right? 1% will be 1000, 5% 5000, 5.5% 5500. So this equation, and then we just need to solve it, okay? Hello Aryan, good afternoon. अभी evening नहीं हुई है. Okay Priyam, is that clear now? Aryan is saying अभी लॉजिकल पजल ही सॉल्व कर रहा था मैं. बहुत अच्छे. कौन सा पजल सॉल्व कर रहे थे? विच डे? डे 7 or 8 or anything before that? Okay, let's try this one now. So there is a playlist, guys, logic builder puzzle for cat, and that is very important that you solve puzzles from that playlist and watch the video solutions, okay? Those puzzles are, you can say, baby steps for LRDI sets that you are practicing. So if you are struggling with approach that how to start an LRDI set, then you must watch those videos, okay? अच्छा आज वाला, that's an interesting puzzle, right? Class वाला, Quant, LRDI, VRC, RC's puzzle, I guess. When the cost of petroleum increases by 40%, a man reduces his annual consumption by 20%. Find the percentage change in his annual expenditure on petroleum. So what do we know? That cost into consumption is equal to expenditure, right? And we know that whenever we get situation like this, if the change is A% here and the change is B% here and the change is C% here, then C will be successive of A and B, means A plus B plus AB upon 100. Now what do we know? That the cost increases by 40%, so A will be 40, but annual consumption decreases by 20%, right? So it will be minus 20. So minus 20, A into B, plus into minus minus, so 40 into 20 upon 100. This is cancelled out, or we can say this will be equal to 12. So the percentage change in expenditure will be 12%. It will increase by 12%. That's the fastest way to solve these type of questions. उसका दूसरा अप्रोच ढूंढ रहे थे, मिल गया दूसरा अप्रोच. आई हैव डिस्कस्ड टू अप्रोचेस देयर. One is the basic one which everyone can try and get the answer, but that is very lengthy, and the other approach, the smart approach, that you should use, right? Chalo, let's try the third one. Today I use this formula. Interesting है ना, कुछ भी करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, सक्सेसिव लगाओ, आंसर आ गया, कोई एजम्पशन करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, कुछ भी. So guys, today at 3 p.m. we are doing this mock analysis of iCAT 7, okay, on the same channel, iCAT 7, which was live from 8th of August to 11th of August, 4 days. And today we are analyzing the mock, that which question which should have attempted at first, which question we should have avoided, what should be your strategy so that you can maximize your marks, what should be your approach during LRDI sets, okay. Everything that is required for a mock will be discussed in mock analysis, all right. So be there at 3 p.m. In this question, it says A obtains 33% marks of in a paper for which maximum marks was 300. So A will be equal to, what is 33.1 by 3%? It's 1 by 3. So 1 by 3 into 300, this will be equal to 100. B is ahead of A by 40%, right? So we can say B is equal to 100 plus 40% of 100, and that is equal to 140. While C is ahead of B by 2/9 of his own marks. What does that mean? C is equal to B plus, which is 140, plus 2/9 of his own marks. So 2/9 C. So from there we are getting 7 upon 9 C is equal to 140. 7 into 20, 140, and C is what we are getting as 180. So the correct answer is option A, right? So Aryan, Pius, Paris, Rubal, Siddhant, Priyam, all of these students got the correct answer. Very good. So if you are not missing or doing any kind of casual mistakes in these type of questions, you can surely get a good marks, okay, overall good marks. So this should be your habit, that you are not doing any kind of calculation mistakes. Now this is a question which is a little better than the questions that we have done in percentages, including yesterday and today. So it would be little calculative, but let's say how many of you can hold your nerve and get the correct answer. all right. So, it says in a city 35% of the population is composed of migrants, 20% of whom are from rural areas. So, let us say if total is 100%, then the migrants will be 35% and the local will be 65%. Out of these 35%, 20 of whom from rural area, 20% of whom from rural area, 80% will be from urban areas. So, 20% of 35% is 7% and 80% will be 28%, right. So, rural area and urban areas. Now, it says of the local population 48% is female. So, 48% of this will be female. What is 48% of 65? So, 50% is 32.5 minus 2%. So, 32.5 minus 2% of this will be 1.3. So, 1.3 which is equal to 31.2%. So, overall 31.2% of the locals are female. Now, in case of it says while this figure for rural and urban migrants is 30% and 40%. So, 30% of these are females, 40% of these are females. So, 30% of 7% is 2.1%. 40% of 28% is 11.2%. So, what we can say, total females will be equal to 2.1% plus 11.2% plus 31.2%, which is equal to 2, 2, 1, 5, 31, 43 and 2, 40, 31, then 42. So, it will be 44.5%, right. it will be 44.5%. Is that clear? बताओ, यहाँ तक क्लियर है? ऑप्शन ए इज नॉट करेक्ट, यही आ रहा है क्या वैल्यू? बताओ. सो वी नीड टू फाइंड फीमेल्स in total will be equal to 44.5 upon 100 into 728400. क्या आ रहा है? बताओ, यही आ रहा है क्या? सो 0 कैंसल्ड आउट और ये यहाँ कितना आ गया? 10, राइट? सो 2 टाइम्स और ये 8, 89 टाइम्स 2 हो जाएगा 3642. So if you multiply these two, what we can do here? If you multiply these two, we can multiply by 90, or you can see that multiply by 90 minus 1. So first multiply by 9. So this will be 8 times 36 plus 1 7, carry 3. So 54 plus 3 57, carry 5 27 32, 327780 minus 3642. That will give us this is 38. 7 minus 6 is 1, 7 minus 3 is 4, 324138, which is option A. So yes, option A is correct. है ना? Option A is correct. Yes, yes. Option A is correct. आर्यन, रुबल, पेरिस, पायस, ऑप्शन ए इज करेक्ट, है ना? पेरिस, ऐसा कोई जरूरी नहीं है. आई गेस इफ योर कॉन्सेप्ट इज नोन, देन जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ लिटिल बिट कैलकुलेशन यू शुड नॉट लीव इट, बिकॉज इवन इफ यू डू ऑल दिस it will be done 1.5 minutes. So if you know the concept properly, you should not leave these type of questions. But yes, it should not be your first priority. Definitely it should not be your first priority. If you are getting questions like this one, then you should use those questions as priority and then come to this type of questions. ठीक है, चलो, let's try this one now. सेकेंड राउंड में कर सकते हैं डेफिनेटली. But problem is in NMAT you cannot go back, right? Case of NMAT you cannot go back. It works same as GMAT exam. You will have to mark a question, then you can move to the next question, right? But in SNAP you can do that. क्या आ रहा है? Madan pays income tax at the rate of 10%. If his income increased by 10% and his tax rate increases by 15%, his net income would increase by 350 rupees. What is Madan's income? So first we need to take income, and then we have tax, and then we have net income, right? So in case of income, if I take 100x initially, then tax will be 10x and the net income will be 90x. and this is increased by 10%. This will become 110x. The tax is increased by 15%. So now the tax value has increased by 15%. So this will become 15% of 110, which is 16.5x. So in that case, this will be equal to 93.5x. So the difference is 3.5x is equal to 350, or x is equal to 100, right? If x is equal to 100, the total income is 100x, which will be 10,000. So our answer is option B here. थोड़ा सा यहाँ पे कंफ्यूजिंग है ना कि जो 15% हो रहा है वो प्रीवियस टैक्स परसेंटेज का हो रहा है या न्यू परसेंटेज है. लाइक हिज टैक्स रेट इंक्रीजेज टू 15%, राइट. इफ इट वाज द टैक्स रेट इंक्रीज्ड बाय 15%, तो फिर हम 10% में 15% इंक्रीज करते, तो 11.5% हो जाता टोटल. बट इट सेज इंक्रीजेज टू 15%. So a little bit difference in language, but you can understand, I guess. Now NMAT SNAP, as we are practicing questions from it, you must have realized that we need mocks and regular classes for this as well. So live class are starting very soon, all right, and 5 days a week these classes will be happening. You are getting 20 full mocks, 10 for NMAT and 10 for SNAP. Total 4,000 plus practice questions you are getting, 24/7 doubt solving, and apart from that you get support from mentors where you can talk about your preparation, if and but, everything, low and high, everything you can talk about it. So you can just go to www.iQuanta/details NMAT SNAP course, or you can simply look iQuanta.in and you will get everything there. Okay. स्नैप के कौन कौन से अटेम्प्ट्स देने चाहिए? सी मिनिमम 15 डेज का गैप तो है ना. यू हैव मिनिमम 15 डेज गैप, राइट आर्यन? नहीं, आई गेस 15 डेज में सारे हो रहे हैं. 15 डेज का गैप नहीं है, 15 डेज में सारे हो रहे हैं. 6th को है, 14th को है, 20th को है. ज़्यादा जल्दी ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. सी कैट एग्ज़ाम इज़ ऑन 30th November. ओके, सो your preparation must have been completed by now and you will be left with 5 more days, right? So there is nothing which says that which slot is better. Okay, so it's up to you. Whenever you feel prepared, you can take that. So what's the answer for this question? Option A, D. In a factory producing parts of an automobile, the parts manufactured on the shop floor are required to go through quality checks, each conducted after a specific part of the processing on the raw material is completed. Only parts that are not rejected at one stage are put through subsequent stages of production and testing. If average rejection rates at these three testing stages during a month are 10%, 5% and 2% respectively, then what is the effective rejection rate for the whole plant? So, initially if a total number of manufactured parts is X%, then there is a reduction of 10%. What is left? Y is left. Then there is a reduction of 5%. Then we get Z number of productions. Z number of manufactured production, and then it is decreased by 2%. So, we are getting W. So, we need to find what is the total change, what is the total change here. So, this is negative, right? We can use the successive minus 10, minus 5, minus 2. So, minus 5, minus 10, it will be minus 10, minus 5 plus 10 into 5 upon 2, which is equal to minus 14.5%. So, now take minus 14.5 and minus 2, take the successive minus 14.5 minus 2 plus 29 upon 100, which will be equal to, this will be 10 into 5 upon 100. So, this will be equal to minus 16.5 plus 0.29. This is equal to minus 16.21%, which is option D. A total reduction is 16.21%. ठीक है. Guru Prasad, correct by 100. Yes, Shashank, it was a mistake. It will be by 100 here. ठीक है. All right. Now, let us try next question. This should be a very quick question. Chuni Lal invests 65% in machinery, 20% in raw material, and still has 13505 cash with him. So, 65% plus 20%. What's left? 15%, right? So, 15 upon 100 of total investment is 1305. This is 8 times 120, 7 times 105. So, we can say total investment is equal to 8700, right. So, answer is option T, that is 8700. जब भी none of these हाँ ये ठीक है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है उस तरह से चेक करने में, है ना. Okay, try the next one. Yes, Priyam, option D is correct. Pius, Shashank, Rubal, Paris, correct answers, guys. I am going a little bit faster today so that we can start the mock analysis on time, okay, which is at 3 p.m. all right, on the same channel, CAT preparation iQuanta channel. ICAT 7 mock analysis will be happening, and Abhishek Leela Pandey sir will be there, Savannah ma'am will be there, and I will be there to discuss everything related to ICAT 7. Okay, difficulty level of the questions and the correct strategies, the right approach. So, one thing that you should remember, that if A into B is equal to constant, if A into B is equal to constant, if A is increased by 1 by x, if A is increased by the fraction 1 by x, then B should be decreased by 1 by x plus 1 to keep the product constant. So, in this case, what is 25%? So, we can say 25% is nothing but 1 by 4. So, this value is increased by 1 by 4. So, this value should be decreased by 1 by 5 to keep the product constant, to keep the expenditure constant, right. So, it says that the ratio between the reduction in consumption and the original consumption. So, this is the case, right. It will be 1:5, which is option C. You can also remember this one for direct uses in these type of questions. Okay, whenever you see A into B is equal to constant, A is increased by 1 by x, B will be decreased by 1 by x plus 1, or vice versa. You can also take, if A is decreased by 1 by x, B should be increased by 1 by x minus 1, है ना. Rubal, as I said, see, 25% increase, right. What is 25% increase? This is 1 by 4, right. So, when A is increased by 1 by 4, B should be decreased by 1 by 5 to keep the product constant. It says if the expenditure is not allowed to increase, means expenditure will be fixed, expenditure will be constant. The ratio between the reduction and consumption and the original consumption is. So, what is the difference? What is the previous and what is the new? The difference by what value? So, what we can say, if the value is increased, if one value is increased by 25%, other value should be decreased by 20%. What is 20%? 1 by 5, right. So, 1 should be decreased out of 5. 1 should be decreased out of 5. आया बात समझ में. और नहीं तो देखो ऐसे कर सकते हो, A into B is equal to constant, the multiplication factor, okay, the multiplication factor will be here as 1 by 5, so it will be 5 by 4, right. The multiplication factor will be 5 by 4 here. If the multiplication factor in case of B is unknown and it is constant, means multiplication factor will be 1. If there is no change, this will be 1, right. So, what will be this multiplication factor, so that this should be, the product should be 1. So, multiplication factor will be 4 by 5. So, the new value should be 4 by 5 of previous value. New value should be 4 by 5 of previous value. So, the difference is 1 out of 5. Is that clear now, Rubal? आ गया. You can also use the successive percentage concept, that if this value is increased by 25%, this value is decreased by k%, and this value remain constant. So successive of 25 and k should be 0. So you will get k is equal to 20. So there is a decrease of 20%, 1 out of 5. ये कहीं देखे देखे क्वेश्चंस क्यों लग रहे हैं? सी क्वेश्चंस का जो फॉर्मेट है वो बहुत ज़्यादा डिफरेंस तो नहीं होता है ना, वही सक्सेसिव परसेंटेज में तो वही ज़्यादातर मिलते हैं, राइट. हो सकता है कि इस तरह के क्वेश्चन सॉल्व किए हों, राइट, वाइल प्रैक्टिसिंग, वाइल लर्निंग परसेंटेजेस फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम. A scooter cost 25,000 rupees when it is brand new. At the end of each year, its value is only 80%. Value is only 80%. What is 80%? 4 by 5 of what it was at the beginning of the year. What is the value of scooter at the end of 3 years? So after every year, the value will remain 80%. Means the value will remain 4 by 5 of previous. So what we can say? New value will be equal to 25,000 into 4 by 5 into 4 by 5 into 4 by 5, right? And that will be equal to 125, 200. So 64 into 2, 12800, 12,800, right? Background आवाज शायद क्लास चल रही है, so answer is option C, 12,800. आई गेस नेक्स्ट स्टूडियो में शायद केमिस्ट्री की क्लास चल रही है ना, नीट के लिए. तो बच्चों को केमिस्ट्री थोड़ी कम समझ में आती है, तो मैम थोड़ा जोर लगा के बोल रही है ना. केमिस्ट्री में प्रॉब्लम तो आती है, राइट. ये सक्सेसिव से भी कर सकते हैं. ये शशांक, वी कैन ऑल्सो यूज सक्सेसिव हियर. -20 -20 -20, okay. Or you can also use multiplication factor here. 0.8 0.8 0.8 is equal to 0.512. So what's left? We are left with 48.8%, right? यही होगा ना, 48.8%. This will be left. 51.2% value will decrease. This will be left, and from there you can calculate this, and you can take successive of these three as well. ओके, चलो क्विकली एक और क्वेश्चन डिस्कस करते हैं, एंड देन वी विल मूव टू आवर मॉक एनालिसिस.
यूट्यूब पे ऑफ है, हाँ यूट्यूब पे ऑफ है ना, ऑटो स्टार्ट पक्का इनेबल ऑटो स्टार्ट ऑफ है, यहाँ पे बुलाया जाएगा, कर दे स्टार्ट बना दिया जूम ने.
वेरी सिमिलर क्वेश्चन किए थे अभी हमने, बट वहाँ पे परसेंटेज दे रखा था, यहाँ पे वैल्यू दे रखी है ना. दैट्स द ओनली डिफरेंस. और इस तरह के इक्का दुक्का क्वेश्चन आपको देखने को मिल जाएंगे हमेशा। इसलिए मैंने जो दो चीज़ें डिस्कस की हैं, ए इंटू बी इज इक्वल टू सी वाला कॉन्सेप्ट जहाँ पे सक्सेसिव यूज कर सकते हैं, ए इंटू बी इज इक्वल टू कॉन्स्टेंट वाला कॉन्सेप्ट। सो जो भी एग्ज़ाम्स आप दे रहे हो कहीं ना कहीं ये क्वेश्चंस आपको देखने को मिल जाएंगे। If the price of sugar rises from 6 to 7.5, means there is an increase of 1 by 5 or there is an increase of 1 by 1.5 or 25%, right? A person to have no increase in his expenditure on sugar will have to reduce his consumption of sugar by. So once again what we can say, price into consumption is equal to expenditure. ठीक है, the price is increased by 1 by 4, so consumption should be decreased by 1 by 5 which is equal to 20%. ठीक है, so answer is option B, so that there is no increase. So can you answer this quickly without doing anything? Instead of this 25%, if it was 16.66%, if the value is increased by 16.66%, then by what value it should be decreased? Batao. If one of these, price or consumption, is increased by 16.66%, then by which value the other should be decreased so that it will remain constant, the expenditure will remain constant, है ना? This is equal to 1 by 6, x is 6, x plus 1 will be 7, so 1 by 7%, 14.28%, right? और अगर डिक्रीज दिया है तो वहाँ पे कम कर देंगे, है ना? सो बहुत ही आसान इससे करना, है ना? इस मेथड से इस तरह के क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करना बहुत ही ईजी है. यू डोंट नीड टू एज्यूम एनीथिंग एट ऑल. दिस इज नोन एज गोल्डन रूल ऑफ परसेंटेजेस. ठीक है गाइज, चलो, all right, that's it for today. Okay, I will take your leave because once again I would like to remind you, if you were not present, that at 3 p.m. we are going to have our iCat 7 mock analysis, and as per few students, iCat 7 was one of the most difficult iCat till date this year. Okay, so you must be there to experience all of this. All right, so see you guys very soon. Thank you. Bye bye. Yes, Rubal, it's a really good concept.